My Chow Xena,
Yeah.
she was very nervous as well when I first got her, and like very jumpy. And she made like huge strides in her behavior when I started working with her. But you can still see that's just her,
Yeah.
right? So like if you move too quickly at her, like she'll shudder, but she like doesn't like zoop,
Yeah.
which she used to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much Ruthie. She's always going to be a little like hyper. That's her personality.
Right, like like with people with anxiety, nerves, and stuff like that, like you can't take it out of them, but you can help them teach or educate them how to handle it better. Same thing for dogs. I can tell like when I move into her space and stuff, like you can still see the nervousness.
Yeah.
Now, if someone just jumped out like, "Hey, Ruthie," like for sure you're still gonna get that response, but because it was so abrupt and so like boisterous,
Yeah.
But here, like I just stepped down, took a moment, reached out, clipped her, we're all good. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, she still has like when she encounters people on our walks to try to like calm down. But she's so cute. People want to pet her, but I'm like, yeah, she's so cute.
Yeah, no.
It's not her.
I tell everybody, dogs have a learning capacity of a 3 to 4-year-old child.
Yeah.
So that's how I evaluate things.
Yeah.
So, because some people feel bad, they're like, want to touch my dog or puppy, and I don't want them to. And I'm like, oh, no. They're like, but I feel bad. I'm like, look at it this way. If you have a 3 to 4-year-old child, are you going to let anybody just
No,
touch them?
yeah.
No. Like, that's your dog right there. That's her learning capacity. And then, I know. It's like, what did you throw over here, Jesse? This looks like the waste of a good stick.
Should have tried to put it in her mouth and bury it. Alright, should we do cuff?
Yeah, so here while she's just kind of sniffing around, and what I would do is go ahead and drop that leash on the ground. So the next thing that we do is go to leash dragging, and I like this, right? Like she's off, and she's just doing her doggy thing, and you can just drop it, yeah. And what you want to do is when you step away from it, I tend to step away, but keep nearby, so in case if I get some confusion, I have something to step on.
Yeah.
So like here, right? So because what we want to do for Ruthie is the leash acts as a visual line straight to you, and once you remove that, it can throw the dog off or they get confused. So if I call her, right, and I tap her, she's like, I don't see that line, she goes the opposite way, I step on it, I try not to pick it up because you'll get rope burn, but then she starts to learn like, oh, I don't need the leash in order to do this, and then you're able to go from it, right? So go ahead and take a couple of steps in so that you have some give there. And what's your number currently? Okay, so you're going to go just issue the recall? Yep. And hold right there. Give a tap for the auto sit. Very good. And we're going to try the side steps here, okay? Tap, tap. Right. Wait a moment. This is good. Good. No, you're fine. That's fine. Any direction is good. As long as it's not forward, okay? Tap. Tap. Good. Try to your right. Yep. And a girl. Good. Now we're going to hold for a second. So what I like here is she did respond. When she came to you and you did the first one, she wandered a bit. You tapped, she turned around, she corrected, right? So this is no words, this is just learning by when you feel this is what you do, so that was good. Now we're going to move towards what we were doing with the long leash with the heel, but now we're going to have it with the leash dragging, okay? So it's your standard heel, everything stays the same except now we don't have any leash in our hand, okay? Whenever you're ready. Yep. Right, good girl. Tap forward. So here, you're going to back up. This is okay. What you're going to do is go ahead and back up this way so that you can go towards the leash. And just put your foot on it. And may have you move back. So she's going to, yeah. Okay, now start tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Now start to walk. Tap, tap. Back on the leash. Tap. Yeah.
I'm
okay.
disrupting her.
Tap. You're okay. Tap. Tap. Let's go ahead and bump a little bit. And forward. There we go. Tap. Tap. Back on the leash. Tap. 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 Yep. Tap. 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 Go ahead and bump it again. Catch.
Like, didn't I go
Yeah.
there last night? Wasn't that
Yeah.
a good thing?
Yeah, I know. What's your number now?
I'm at 30.
Okay, so go ahead and pivot. And you're going to go ahead and pick up the leash here. You're going to just start walking. Tap, 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 tap. Keep going. Tap, tap, tap. Now drop. Good. So the moment we see our block turn, tap, tap. There we go. The moment we see her correct the positioning, we let go of that leash.
Got it.
Okay, so that was good. Good. Good pivot. Try a left turn. Tap forward. There she goes. Just trying to correct it first. Tap. Tap. You may have to step in the leash. Tap. 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 Go ahead and pick up the leash, and you're going to move that way now. Tap. 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 There you go. Good. Now drop. Good. Very good. It's all normal, by the way. Because she has to decipher what all this stuff means.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious. She sits on that, like, look at me.
I know.
Didn't I do good?
Because it's the last thing she learned.
Why am I not getting good though? Yeah, she's hilarious.
Good girl. Tap forward. Good. So yeah, that's what we want to see. Good. Then turn in this way. Tap forward. Let's keep forward. You're going to slow to a stop. Good. Go ahead and give a stay. Tap. There you go. Now back away. So stay, and you're going to walk away.
Stay.
Good. So what we're doing is just blending.
Got it.
Tap, tap. And now walk forward. Tap, tap. Now she does it right. Tap, tap, tap. Hold right there. Tap. You're not going to say anything. Tap. Now step away again. No words. Just step away. Good. Because you're correcting the stay.
Right.
So once you've cued it once, we don't repeat it. Okay. All I do, is I start tapping and I lead her back to general area, and then I remove myself. So if she were to get up, I would again start tapping. And what we're looking for is at a distance. If Ruthie stood up and you tapped her, she would just go back into that position. Okay. So here, because she kept going to your mom, then you corrected that like 2 or 3 times, and then here you did a stay and you walked away. And then she makes a mistake and you tap her. She's like, well, last time I had to go to you.
Right.
So she's thinking about that. Right? So it kind of shows, like, and then the reason why she kept going to place is because last week that's what we learned.
Right.
Okay? So dogs' brains typically go to the most recent thing that they learn. So what we do here is like clarify for her what each thing means, and the mistakes are necessary.
Right.
Okay? So I don't ever feel bad because everybody feels bad. Like, oh, the dog doesn't know what to do. I'm like, but this is how they learn.
Yeah.
Like, they're not like a kid where you could tell them what to do specifically, and they would do that knowingly. She's just like, last thing I learned was this. Is that right?
I
Nope.
see that. I gotta go there.
Yeah. So here, I would typically correct the down because you put her in a stay in that sitting position, so she should keep that position. But here, because we're working on a lot of things at once, I let it go. Okay. So if you're going to advance Ruthie's obedience, I want you to work in topics. Okay, so going back to her recall earlier, she responded, she went straight to you, but I could see a couple improvements. You know what those are?
Maybe just in terms of how she was doing.
On the recall, yeah.
So when we sidestepped doing the laundry.
Right, there was that, right? But if we look at the recall alone, just that Ruthie come part and her returning, what do you think there could be improved?
The speed of return,
That's how it is. Her sitting, that was a hard thing for her.
It was,
They had a hard time.
Right. So in the whole picture, we had the side step, we have the return, the speed of the return, even the speed of the turn, right? The Ruthie come, this part, and then the auto sits, okay? So the reason why that's important is because, let's say Ruthie is, chasing after a squirrel, okay? And she's running towards the street. Is if you don't have a very quick return, or a very quick turn, she's gonna keep chasing that squirrel. Okay, so when you work with her, you want to think today, or for these 10 minutes, we're gonna focus on fast turn, or we'll focus on fast return, okay? And then once you get that down pat, then you focus on the fast or immediate auto sits once she arrives, okay? Because if you try to do all those things at once, the fast turn, the fast return, the faster sits, and the side steps, it's too many things all at once. It's not gonna sink in, okay? So I always go in with the topic in mind. That's why when we teach things, when I work with everybody, it's like we do one thing, then once this is done, I move to the next thing. Once that's pretty good, the next thing, right? So this way we're building on stuff, and I'm not throwing so much that the owner is confused, or it's too much for the owner to retain, and then the dog as well, okay? So now we're gonna come back to Ruthie's side. I'm gonna have you go ahead and put her in the heel, and you're gonna pivot off and go that way.
Okay. Ruthie, heel.
Good. Tap forward. There we go. Good. That was a good little perk up. Tap forward. There we go. Better. That's better. Yeah, keep going. Tap. Keep going. Tap. So here, what you're gonna do is start to walk angles this way, forward, tap. There we go. You're at 30? 30, yeah. Okay. Let's go to 35. Tap. There, oh, stop. Yeah. It's one thing about working with long. There we go. Good. Forward tap. Good. Tap. There we go. Better. And slower. Slow to a stop. Good. Now, do you know why I went to 35?
Because of the slow.
Yeah. She wasn't, like, it's funny because she made a mistake. She turned around and she fixed it, which is good, but then she just stopped.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're practicing this, if she starts to lag a bit, what I do is I'll slow down myself so that I have more time to fix this before I get too far away.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm trying to keep myself within the vicinity of being close to that leash in case there's a...
This is the problem.
Exactly, I have something I can step on right away and I can work her through it. But with the higher power, I'm looking for faster response. And I can tell you right now, like, 35 really didn't phase me too much. At least right there, right? Like, she took it and she sped up a little bit, but she was like, yeah, no big deal. I get it, right? And I would keep playing with that. We're gonna mess around with it a little bit to see if we can create that speed and final program for this. Okay? Let's go ahead and I'm gonna have you do heel, just kind of to here-ish, to a stop. And then once she auto sits, you're gonna wait a moment or so, and then we're gonna just come over and we're gonna place Ruthie, okay?
Okay.
There, good. So I like that she didn't presume that she's gonna go.
Yep.
Place. And a girl.
Good girl.
Very
Good job.
Okay. Now, did your mom fill you in on the play stuff?
She did.
Yeah.
In terms of like specific placement, we were doing it in our house, so there might be some place.
Gotcha, for sure. So it's very simple. We don't care what she does. Sit, stand, lay down. Just care that she's within the perimeter of the place.
She stays.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say place then sit, because then it's not a place anymore.
Right.
It would be a sit.
Right.
Okay. So that's for stationary control, whether you have guests come over, or maybe you want to go to like a restaurant, patio or something. Netflix nights out for next year. And you bring like a little towel with you. I have clients that bring napkins, whatever, in their car. They pop it down, place, and this way they have to have their dog there. They're behaving themselves. You're not worried about them wandering around. So that's
Very good. We took her to her first outdoor
really?
restaurant, and she was really, really good. The waiter came up out of nowhere, and she barked a little bit, but then she stopped and just laid down.
Laid down.
Yeah, we brought her a little treat ball to keep her.
keep her busy.
Just get her something.
When
so
she
it's good.
barked, did you correct her or what?
Directed her, and then she stopped, and then she laid down, and every other time he came over. I think it was honestly he came up out of kind of from
He came
behind.
out,
Yeah.
she was facing one way, and he kind of came out of the door somewhere.
Yeah.
And kind of startled.
Yeah. But she was really good. I mean, we didn't expect, we were really worried about taking her. It was kind of a test run for
Oh, sure.
at a place that we can try. She did great.
Yeah, no, I mean, so what you have here is you have two styles of control. One is preventative control. Go here, don't move, right? So that's one thing. So that kind of keeps her brain preoccupied. And as I get a 3 or 4 year old child, it's hard for them. You know, themselves will be like I remember going to church when I was that young. Like that first, there was a park, and my mom was okay, now you're wearing your brains out. You know. So same thing for Ruthie here. But then there's also intervention. Like if she becomes nervous or something triggers her, that you're able to no, there's no need for that.
Right.
And the more you expose her to those things, the better she's going to become.
Yeah, we've noticed we've had more people. We've already had COVID, so we're kind of enjoying our supposed immunity. Yeah, so we've had more people over than we were doing for a while. And we've noticed that she's a lot better.
I don't fear it anymore. Like,
We don't dread it.
I'm not worried about it. Like, I'm not worried about how she's going to be because I know if I do what I've got to do, she'll settle down.
Right. And that's the whole part of this. Like, and your case was an easy case. Like, when I get my more severe reactive cases, I tell the owners, like, because they're super anxious. They're like, I don't know, I can't grab an elevator. I don't know when I turn the corner if there's going to be a dog. Like, there's all this anxiety around, like, I don't know when I'm going to see a dog. So once we get the control in, I tell them, your anxiety is going to go down once you start to see, it's not just the dog's behavior, but it's the I have control and I have the means of stopping the situation should it happen, right? And it's those two things working together.
A lot more relaxed. So people under the house used to just
so much of our anxiety revolved around this. What are we going to do with Ruthie? Where's Ruthie going to go? It was great for a couple of months when we first got her. It was really like,
we were also more worried about leaving her crate than being in the house. She's still out about the house, not Ruthie. She's very like we have to sneak back in and get something. She's totally
like whatever.
She likes her crate.
Good. Yeah. No, crates are good. I mean, dogs are denning animals. You're just picking where she's, staying for whatever.
She gets the one time early on before training, we put her in our kitchen in some place that we just put our little fence around it. She did not like that.
Oh, sure.
It made her really anxious. She didn't eat her food, didn't play, was just kind of like, but in her crate, she just settles down.
She chews on her little treat ball.
Yeah,
interesting. It's funny because some dogs are reversed. Most dogs are reversed. Most dogs, like, that have crate issues won't like a crate, but they'll be fine, like, in the kitchen.
That's how our other dog was. The crate was not her thing, but if I gave her a confined space, she's fine. Like, she had the kitchen, it was closed her off, that was the space. So it was good, but it was too much for Ruthie. At least it was when we did it.
That's funny. Yeah, it's usually the more common one is that.
Yeah.
So pretty simple stuff, right? So with this tool, you get up to off-leash control with all these things that we practice. The heel, the recall, and the recall is the one that, of course, I always tell people you want to keep practicing that because that needs to be off-leash reliable.
Yeah.
The next thing would be, of course, the place command and stuff. So now you have like the trifecta of dog training or dog control, which is walk with me, don't pull, come to me when I call you, and then don't move to the next person, hour, whatever it is.
Maybe we need to get her a bigger bed. She's got like a little tiny curl up bed. Maybe we should get her something like this so she's got a more.
She likes something, but it's not really her place.
Oh,
I think it doesn't give her enough room to like.
Like if we wanted her to go there and stay there, she would have a hard time.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
We are going to get a better one.
Yeah, and it could be as big or, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think I told you, I had like a carrier rug.
Yeah.
It was really big. And then they're like, could that be placed? I'm like, sure, it's just a really big place that your dog can literally walk, all around and stuff. And I was like, as long as there's a perimeter, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and I'm gonna have you come to the side of Ruthie there. You're gonna go ahead and just say heel, and you're gonna walk towards that way and see if she'll. Anyway, that's good. Yep. There we go. There she goes. Good girl. Good pivot. Good. And then you'll turn towards us. And then slow to a stop. Good. Go ahead and give her a stay.
Stay.
And you're going to step away. Good. Let's go ahead and swap handlers here. So tap, walk towards her, tap, tap, and walk with her towards over here, tap, 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 hold right there, tap, and then step away because she's in that stay still. Tap, tap, right, there we go, that's fine. We're gonna let that slide because she did end up putting that butt down, okay? Hold for a second, tap, tap, now walk a little bit over this way, tap, yep, right there, that's good, and then tap, tap, go ahead and grab your leash here, and tap, tap, lead her back here, tap, tap, hold right there. Now drop your leash, you can step away. Up, sorry, you did your left leg. So remember, you want to do your right leg and then moving away from the stake, because she's going to think heel, okay? Yeah, with your right leg, and step away. There we go. Because visually for, tap, tap, tap. Go ahead and grab your leash. Don't say anything. Tap towards this way. Tap, tap, tap. About right here. Tap, tap. Then you're going to step away right leg. Tap, tap. Move into her. Tap. Towards this way. Tap, tap, tap. Hold right there. Tap. Now away with the right leg. Tap, hold. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. Okay. So, with the leg movements, heel is that left leg, right? So then she's going to start thinking heel. So when you do that stay, it's with that right leg, any direction as long as it's that right leg. If you see she's having trouble, before we started with that pivot to face her, and then you can take away, right? But all this stuff is normal. Now you're just testing her understanding of the commands themselves. So all these mistakes are normal. What's important is that you take the time to, of course, fix it. So that took, a few repetitions. And on that last one, I applied a little bit of leash to help her out, and then I removed myself. And then she's been holding that so far for the lunge, okay? So we want to remember to never call or do a recall or a break when Ruthie is away from you. Okay, so if you tell her stay, if you told her place, I wouldn't go over here and say, okay, break. Okay? I want to always be right next to Ruthie when I release her or when I give her the next command to avoid a problem. So if you told Ruthie to stay and you had to walk away for whatever reason, if you ever call her from this position or release her from that distance, she might think, are you going to call me? And prematurely leave. Okay, so we want to avoid that problem. And it's super simple. It's just I never do a recall. Let that slide. I never do a recall from a stay position, and I never do a break from a distance. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this way, she just thinks to herself, they are always here when they give me my next command. Okay. Now, when I have my clients that do the longer programs, for them, because they're going to do more time, I'll tell them if you want to proof your things, you can, because you have more stuff to do. Okay, in this case, I keep it simple, and just avoid that issue. So it's kind of like with the placemat. If she's placed next to you, and you say break, and then if you stand up and then say break, she's going to think every time you stand up, you're going to release her. So that's why I release her before I stand up, so she doesn't catch on to a pattern. Okay, so dogs are very smart. They'll catch on to those patterns very quickly. And, people don't, obviously, as dog trainers, and I can think about that stuff, right? So, but I've seen it so many times throughout the years that I just go make your life easier. Just avoid these issues, okay? So we'll go ahead and go back to her side. I'm going to have you give her a little bit of praise here.
Good girl.
And she's still in the stay. Just go ahead and just step away, see what happens. Good. Hold for a second. Yep. Go ahead and go back to her side. There we go. Very good. And you're going to go and say heel.
Heel.
Forward. Yep. Go. And throw. Yep. Yep. Drop forward. Drop forward. There you go. better. Much better. Good. Forward. Good. Good. Slow. We'll stop here. Right. Okay. So what you're gonna do here is turn. So you're walking along your line here. Okay. Forward. Tap. Tap. There she goes. Tap. Now step on your knee. Tap. 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 You gotta keep tapping. Tap. We're just playing to the opposite. Tap. 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 Go ahead and bump it. Let's go to 43. There we go. Good. And then forward heel. Tap, 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 tap. There we go. There we go. Good. There we go. Very good. You know, walk. Again, you can slow the stop. Good. So, are you seeing what's happening here?
Yeah.
What?
She starts with me and then she gets distracted.
Sure. So what does that tell us?
No, I think it's more that she's trying to figure out the difference in commands and he's handling her at a different time.
That's part of it.
Like she's just learned like I'm supposed to do Amanda, then going back and forth on that.
Correct. What else are we seeing?
Well, a couple times she sat her butt down. She sat in front of me, not like next to me.
Okay.
This time she stayed pretty well until we started walking. But the main thing I noticed is she just didn't want to go with me when I said, like,
Correct.
start off.
Right,
She was
right.
just kinda like,
And then what do we have to do? And bump the number up, okay? Now, right now we're in a teaching moment for Ruthie. We're pushing things a bit more. But the main thing I want you to take from this is we started at 25 and we're at 43, okay? Is I know I'm pushing things to another degree, and you may think to yourself like, well, we don't need her to walk off leash, we don't need her to place off leash, we just need her to return off leash, right? Is I'm giving you a glimpse of, in an emergency scenario, you're gonna be fiddling with that, okay? Is I'm getting you used to when she's being non-compliant, how are you gonna fix this? And most people go to reset and help the dog, but you're not gonna be able to reset because there's not gonna be a leash. Okay, is I'm trying to get you used to using that remote and bumping that number. Because when you went to 40, it was a better response. Then you went to 43, and she was, going over here. She went to Amanda and all that stuff. Eventually, she returned to you. Okay. Now, because we're not worried, and we have time, and we have a precaution of a long leash here, is we don't rush it. But in a setting of, hey, she's running towards the street, you're gonna rush it. Okay. And you're gonna be panicking. She might be panicking. She's like, "What the hell is this? 100?"
She's shivering and it's really funny.
Yeah.
She's cold.
That's her main. She's because her coat's not like a full coat. You've got like that wiry.
Look at her, she's shivering. Oh no.
Wait, you beat the winner, Ruthie. Her legs don't want to grow.
No, yeah, I saw it.
She's losing her. I was worried she was like chewing it off or something. She's getting her full.
But all these things are giving you a glimpse of what that would feel like or look like, right? Is I would suggest practicing with this stuff because it teaches you more like how to become reliant on this is what I'm going to be using to make Ruthie comply. So like Melissa, I think before we even did Nash's recall class, he ran away. And she had the 127 continuous. And she told me, and I think it was like something along the lines of like, I know we haven't done recall, but he was running away, and it's either I let him run away or I use this tool, and he came right back. And I was like, no, I'm like, that's how it would work.
Continuous? She did.
I think it was 127 continuous. You can ask her.
Yeah, I will.
And then, it was. I know it was maxed out for sure. I'm pretty sure it was continuous. And then he came right back. And she had seconds to think. Because dogs move very fast, you know?
And she has left Trevi's.
Yeah, she started taking herself home. That's just
She's like,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
She didn't run. She just
walked
kind of
calmly
trotted
out of
off
the park.
to
Yeah, and then calmly crossed the street and then went home.
the, yeah.
And we were
Stood
like,
in front of our door, like.
I'm done here.
Luckily for her, there wasn't a car, or there was a car, and the car stopped.
it was really on. I mean, it wasn't fun us because I was really rude of her. But she had come to us a couple times and sat down, which she does when she's like ready to go.
She's tired.
But we weren't really ready to go yet. So, and then she was just like, all right, goodbye.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So it's a good thing that you said that. Should that happen again, I'm not saying obedience is out the window,
Yeah.
but if you issue a come and you tap her, it's probably going to make her run off.
Yeah.
Because she's in a, I'm tired of this, I'm just going to remove myself.
Yeah. And she knows how to get home.
She knows. She knows exactly where to
I
go.
mean, it's a good thing, you know. But like, so like, let's say when I've had clients go when like someone's at the firework and the dog runs, and they'll tap the dog and they'll suggest the dog start running faster.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because the dog's trying to run from something and that they're scared. So then they're like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna, you know, not I don't know, but like, this that I'm gonna just
They
run
just
off.
wanna get away from it.
That they have to go to max power to override that.
Yeah.
So if you try to call her because she's in a avoidance, like I'm done with this,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you saw her speed, like, you know, go faster. What I would do is if you see her sitting on your feet,
Yeah.
grab your leash, flip it to her, and just step on the handle.
Yeah.
Okay? At some point, she might walk off, you would remote her, and what you're doing is, one, security, but you're also saying you can't walk away anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're removing that as an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
And you might see her push her. Like kind of like when earlier when you were walking with her, she started to go to your mom instead.
Yeah.
And we stepped on the leash and we kept
Yeah.
remoting until she came back and then we continued. It's very similar to that, okay? So you're removing that flight option or avoidance option, you're saying nope, and you're limiting range of motion, and eventually you'll see that habit goes away.
Yeah.
Okay, because she thinks she's going to get corrected for it, so she's going to get corrected by the okay? That wouldn't. You could do a recall technically, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna see your speed up and go like, nope, I'm
I've
done.
seen that a few times. We tried to use when there was a very large dog at the park, someone huge ginger who was being pretty aggressive with her. And Ruthie plays rough, like she loves to tackle with dogs that are bigger than her. But I could see that her tail was going between her legs, and she was running
Which is
around
rare for
like
her.
a crazy person. And so I tried to get her to come to me because I couldn't get her to stop, and it was crazy. And when I hit it, she went the other way.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, even though she like you've had successes, we're trying to get as close to 100, if not 100% reliability. So that this takes people the longest to practice.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
see why too. There's so many things that can throw the dog off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables at play. Okay. That's why like here, learning how to play with that number. I know she's been great on that 25.
Yes, that's the main. You know, around the house, it never moves from that. Like
Uh-huh.
to get her to like do what she needs to do over in the house.
Right.
She's fine.
At the park, it's
At the
more
park,
like
but when
30.
we're outside, it's fine. Yeah. It's
Right.
fine, for Sure.
And so what I would do, and we'll do that now, so I can give you an idea of it.
Yeah.
We're going to play with that number. So that 43 is moving, you know, doing better.
Yeah.
But we're going to go back to the recall stuff.
Okay.
And we're going to start playing with raising the number
Okay.
to create speed. So we're going to go back to having two people here.
Okay.
You can see Petey just rolling through.
Yeah. Right.
I've seen that on more than one occasion. Yeah.
What's that?
CBD just rolls through.
Oh, yeah.
All right, sorry.
Great.
Pedestrian.
So we're going to go back to the two-handler hold. Okay. So I'll have you hold Ruthie. And then, Susan, I'll have you go to the end of the long leash here. And we're going to try it. We're going to start at, we'll go to 45. And you're gonna do what we did before, but now the topic for this exercise is figuring out what's going to make Ruthie move quickly. Okay. Let's go ahead and pick up the end of our long leash here. There we go. And we'll move back this way. Careful with that branch. There we go. And you're going to issue the Ruthie count, and then you're going to tap 3 times. Okay. You're going to go Ruthie count, tap, tap, tap. And you might see her move back towards Amanda. You'll just keep tapping and moving back, okay? Don't worry about reeling in your leash this time.
Okay. All right. It's my drop.
You'll keep it in your hand, okay? But you're don't have to worry about
I see. Ruthie, come.
Yep, tap, tap, and back. 1, 2, 3, that's good. Good. That was a little bit better with the speed. The tone break will bring her back. We'll try one more. See how she does the second time.
You're mad at me.
Ruthie, come.
Tap, tap, tap. Now back, back, tap, 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 back, tap. There she goes. Good. Better speed there, but now you see how she got confused a bit. Good. Let's go to 48. Good. And break. We're gonna repeat that.
She's like, I'm not going
I
anywhere.
know.
She's like, I'm not messing around with that 48 business.
Yeah, girl. Good girl.
Ruthie, come.
Tap, tap, yeah, better, back. 1, 2, that's good right there. Good, so that, her turn was much faster. Her speed is pretty good. Now that can be faster as well. But I'm just like slowly working there, okay? Let's do a couple more, break. Atta girl, Ruthie.
Ruthie, come.
Tap, back, tap, tap, yep. And back. 1, 2, 3, that's good. Right there, very good. Atta girl. Good. And break.
Make sure you step it back. I know.
It's a lot of things.
It helps with the park though.
Yeah, well that's what distinguishes you from the environment.
Right.
Let's go to 51.
Ruthie, come.
Tap, 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 back. Yep. And there you go. Fine, right there. Very good. Much better speed there. Good, we'll do one more than we swap.
Ruthie, come.
Tap, 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 back, tap, 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 back, tap, tap. There you go. Good. Right there. Much better. Good. Ready? We're going to swap. Now we see that stopping for the scratching. Right? Which is, it's fine. But when she stops to do that, when you're moving back and you're pulling, you're not allowing her to actually like get into it, right? Because again, you're trying to factor in like we need this to absolutely work. We're not going to want her. We're going to need that immediate turn. We'll go and swap these. You'll take the remote. Let's go to, you're at 51?
Yeah.
Let's go 54. So we're little by little going up, and I'm trying to find a number that's going to give you a real good sense of urgency. Yep, holding. Tap, 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 good. Great, that girl, better. I saw her, by the way, with the dog walker.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was going down Webster, and he was like standing, like if this was Trebas, because there's a street that like Melissa lives on, and then I don't know, I forget what this street is, but he was like right there by that little like Mexican restaurant. Yeah, and he was just like standing with her.
He's a good dog walker. He's real good.
Yeah, he's also taught her all these like random tricks.
Oh, really?
He's good with the e-collar.
Yeah, she had it on. I saw it. Go ahead. Tap, tap, tap. Now back. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Very good.
Good job.
Good. And break, we're gonna do another. So so what I'm doing here is we're going up like an increment of 3.
Yeah.
And I'm watching each recall and I'm going, can that be better? Can that be better? And I'm trying to find that number. So we'll do one more. That one she got a little confused with normal. Go ahead. Yep, tap back. 1, 2, that's good. Much better. You're great.
She's going right there too.
I know, it's
in front of
sweet.
them.
Good. Break. Let's go to 57. Had a girl. Oh, it's a good one. Back. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, as soon as that hit kicked in, she shot away. That was real good. Good. We need 2 more.
Break.
Good girl.
Ruthie, come.
Yep, back. Yep, good job. Hold right there. Excellent. And we'll do 1 more.
Break.
Oh. Sorry, just go and bring her back.
Now she's got the game.
Ruthie, come.
Tap, back. Good. Very good. And here, go to just heel, bring Ruthie forward. All right, so we're back. So now, what we do is I like what that 57 is getting us, especially that first one you did, it was Ruthie come tap in, right? I saw her just feel it and move, right? Now, I'm sure when you play, you've seen her go pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
She's the fastest dog in the park.
Okay, so just keep that in mind, because she's capable of doing faster, but I'm just kind of showing you the steps to get there. Okay. Now, you want to be realistic. If it's a hot day and she's been running around a lot, and she's tired, not going to be quick.
She's had a lot of exercise today.
Yeah. So, but if it's like early on in the day or something like that, and it's right after that, she's got a lot of energy. We know what she's capable of. Okay. Because the speed of the return just tells you how important it is. Slow, not that important. Super important in real life. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Ruthie and I'm gonna be moving around with her, hopefully getting her to be a little bit playful. She might be a little spotted. Sure. Yes. So we'll see how that goes. But I want to start to engage her, get her moving around, so that you can do a recall, kind of like if you're to be in the middle of playing with other dogs. Okay. Everything stays the same. So I'm getting you guys used to like 25 now isn't going to always be the answer. I could see earlier on, I'm like, yeah, I could see she needs more power for a better result. Okay, so she's kind of getting comfortable with that. Because for a small dog, she's physically very tough. Okay, because you're at 57 now, right? She's taking it no problem.
Yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, and I think when we worked with her originally, we were like at 70s, I think.
Yeah.
When we first did the
when
recall
we
with
first
each other.
started, yeah. Because she wasn't spotted.
Exactly. So like, you know, so she's capable of like even more. People tend to go by personality, size of dog, or they think their dog's a puppy. And I'm like, no, your dog's physically very tough. And you have to consider that whenever you're working with her.
She thinks she's tough. That makes sense.
She does.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I just had lunch, so I'm not gonna run too fast. Right.
knows what's up.
Let me know when I get back.
Good. Right.
She wants to get away from anyone who's not her. Like, she's just so suspicious.
Now that's normal, Jesse.
Yeah.
I get out here as fast as I can when I see him.
Elizabeth told me that she wants to have you over for dinner so we can meet some class.
Oh, really?
I thought that was really funny.
She's like, one of these days, I was like, she's only got 2 classes left. I don't like.
Ruthie, come.
There you go. And you got a dog behind you. Back, turn. Back. Now, keep back, keep back. Pull, pull, pull. Pull, pull, pull. There you go. Good. Hold right there. Good. So, I just learned something about Ruthie. What did we learn? So off of that idea, right? Because you called her and I was like, dog behind you. You're at 53. What did she do? Went to the dog, right? So what's that tell us?
Gotta go higher with the dog.
Right? Yeah. So exactly that the dog. So 57 is high, right? Like we're already like
Yeah.
going half to almost half power.
Yeah.
But when there's a dog around, maybe dog she hasn't met before, something like that, you may be higher. Yeah, she completely, with no hesitation, was like,
She turned around, even though she knew she was gonna get.
yeah,
She was.
right? Because she was in the middle of
Yeah.
command. So all these things is information. It's just learning to recognize that information. We're like, oh yeah, like when there's a dog present, like we were like at 80, you know, and every other time you can be at 25, but when there's a dog present, it's 80. It's normal.
Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to figure out here.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell everybody, like, you have to drill this stuff out as much as possible in any context that's applicable to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you place at the park in Travis with the dogs, you want to recreate that so that you learn her numbers. And it may just be when there's dogs around, Ruthie's number is 80, but when there's no dogs around, it's 25.
Or when she's like, it's lower when she's tired.
Or that.
Then it's like, but if she still wants to play with those dogs, it's
Yes.
gonna have to be higher.
Yes,
She's
and it's
like,
just a matter of, like, anytime anyone is struggling with anything, it's the number's too low. Okay, because she's been conditioned, she's got a good concept. You know, there's still more practice, but that's why I told some, like earlier we had a new client, and I told her, your dog has a very solid concept, and you can literally walk anywhere now. You just have to have the appropriate number to the whatever the environment is. Okay, so we'll do a couple more.
Sorry. Well, this is Amanda. Hey Taylor, how are you?
So you're gonna do the same thing as Amanda?
Okay.
Great. So I'm gonna run around with her. When I give you the thumbs up, you're gonna issue that thumb, okay?
Come, Ruthie. I was waiting.
Right, and back.
Yeah, it's
Very good.
Girl.
Hey, what are we at, by the way?
We are at 56.
Let's go to 60.
Ruthie, come.
And back. There you go. And praise. So a little bit of gift there. How many taps is that?
Like 3.
3? Okay. So we're trying that again. We're going to put a little bit more space between the taps.
Okay.
See how she does, otherwise then we'll dip it down.
Okay.
So the breaking point can be very new to 56 and 60.
Yeah.
So she could be at 58.
Yeah.
See how she does, but that last little quarter of the return, just see how fast it
Yeah,
was.
she did.
It's
Yeah.
because now she's going like, whoa, it's a bit more urgent. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing the bumpy butt, right? Right, now back, good. Better.
That was just 2.
Yeah, that was good. Her speed is a tiny bit faster there. Okay, run one more. Quarantine got me lazy now.
Yeah. Ruthie, come. Come.
And back.
It's a little bit crazy.
Right there. Good. Go ahead and heel forward.
Heel.
Good. And slow to stop here. Very good. Good. And you see right there, I should stop right with you because of the number. Right? Because now that you're getting in the head of like, whoa, this is a little bit more urgent than I thought. Now she's gonna not want to make mistakes. Yes, exactly. No dilly-dallying here. Okay. So, some things for Ruthie. A lot of great progress with these 6 weeks or 6 classes. Is behaviorally really good. Now it's just the obedience. Now it's the control aspect. The main thing I care about is always the recall. Okay. Whether you practice the heel and the play stuff or no, like I don't care about that. Everybody has to have an off-leash reliable recall. Today we went from 25 up to 60 or whatever to get much faster speed, a more immediate response when she's interacting, playing with something. Yeah, and it's very because it's easy to get used to like, wow, she's doing so good. But I'm thinking about like in the moments of this is an emergency or like we weren't expecting this, right? And you're finding yourself at these levels. If you've never been there before, it's really hard for people like to think about going there. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so used to the successes, and I go, yeah, but this isn't like normal. Like nothing's going on. This is emergency. So, it's super interesting, because like I think it's. I would say for me the similarities like kind of like practicing for a fire and hoping there's never a fire, but if there is you got a plan down, and that's where all the rehearsing when nothing's going on because you're building habits. Same thing here, we took our time, we worked with Ruthie to figure out a good number that was getting us good response, which we found, but now like the next time should something happen you're like, oh crap, we need to come to us immediately.
Straight to 50 cents.
Yeah, you're already up there, right? Because and for me, I'm so used to, I don't even look at the call, I just jack it up and tap because the dog will tell me what I need to do. But this is very controlled context. You're learning how to become a very good handler. In case of an emergency, it's like, okay, come back.
Right
there is no...
Before you hit receive.
Yeah, and I've had, at least in the past 2 or 3 months, I've had at least a handful of clients tell me they've had something happen with the dog running off. There was Melissa, I had a client actually here with her dog. She was playing fetch, and with her dog's nervous like Ruthie. And what happened was she went to pick up the ball, and when she looked up, there was 2 girls walking, and they spooked her, so then she started chasing them. Okay, and then she had to bring the dog back. Another client over here in Lincoln Park, there's a place where everybody takes their dogs off leash, and he just booked it because you have like there's Lincoln, and then there's like the street Sedgwick or something like that, right? And the dog was running straight towards the street. There was one where another dog, same area, was running around. All of a sudden, this kid ran by, and then the dog started chasing the kid. Again. So it's all these situations where like, man, Jesse, like, I understand what you mean by like, hey, like. Yeah, that can't happen. You gotta get it done.
I'd rather have her feel, the jolt in the head than not rough on her.
Yeah,
In terms of
yeah, that's why we practice these things. That's why I really stress, like, make sure you do this stuff, controlled context. So, homework really is, like I said, the other stuff I don't care so much about, but definitely keep drilling that recall. It's pretty good. And you can do what I did today to recreate that. It's just like running around with Ruthie, playing with her, engaging with her. And doing a recall off of that, and I think you'll be just fine. Okay. Any questions for me or any concerns?
No, this is great. You have a place on your website where we can say how great you are.
Yeah, we have. We prefer Google
Yeah.
or I think on Facebook you can leave recommendations now. People, so on Yelp, people have left us. We have like 60 reviews, but Yelp's hiding like 2/3 of them. Yeah, and so it's a whole thing with Yelp because there used to be more, but then
But they are good.
Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
Also,
I mean
in terms of, sorry, this is a totally random. In terms of boarding, you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
do boarding, right?
correct.
Okay.
Oh yeah, when she stopped by, so yeah, she's more than welcome to come. You know, we would just have you fill out a form, so we have her shot records and everything.
That's something I've been kind of nervous about, just because she's a quarantine mom. She's never had any time by herself.
Yeah.
I think what I like about this setup is it's very, the dogs like structured.
Correct.
It's not just a
Her daycare is like a free.
It's a free for all.
Yeah.
Well, we
No.
don't take it there.
Yeah, no, it's a blend of reinforcing training, playtime, rest time. Then we do our walk, which during the wintertime we're getting treadmills, so we're getting treadmill trained dogs.
That's great.
And then so they're all doing something. It's not just go all day. So that we send them home. Like we had a client, actually Melissa, because she used to send Nash to like Indiana or something, and she said he'd come back like super wired, and then with us he comes back tired. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not just like craziness. It's it's like sure there's play and stuff, but
I also know you guys know her.
oh yeah.
That makes a difference. We basically drop her for 2 hours now and then. She comes out of her pretty right.
Oh sure, yeah, because it's a lot of stimulation.
And that may work for some, but for her, it's just.
After a while.
If you guys were closer, we would take her there for daycare.
Yeah. Well, we do the transport, but it does add an extra, on top of it, because we pick up Nash and Shadow, and Melissa usually schedules with Paige, so then I pick the two up. Roxy came a few times too.
Oh yeah, we like her.
Yeah. So then, and then, because right now it's just me and my employees like using our cars like transport, because we had to like figure out something because of COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's more than welcome to come either for anything. She's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Here, I'll give you
I'll give